What is there to say?
When he talks,
All right, looks like the appointed hour has arrived, so I will call the Monday, October 6th meeting of the Hastings Planning Commission to order. We'll begin with roll call. Bolthouse.
Here.
Darling.
Here.
Foster.
Here.
Blake.
Here.
Mattson.
Here.
McLean.
Here.
Moyer Kale.
Here.
Tassava.
Here.
Ansorge.
Here.
And Hatfield here. Nice to have everybody here. I want to apologize for not being able to join you for the special meeting. Appreciate the fact that we were able to get a quorum here and move things forward, but Montana was wonderful. So. All right, if you'll join me for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You've received a draft agenda. Are there any changes that anyone would propose?
No, I make the motion to approve the agenda as written.
Support.
We have a motion and support to approve the agenda. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Likewise, you have received draft minutes from the September 2nd special meeting and the September 2nd regular meeting and the September 26th special meeting. Any changes?
No, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and place on file.
Support.
All right, moved and supported to approve both sets of minutes. Discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Information items, we have none. Public hearings, we have one, which is a public hearing to review and consider amending Chapter 90, Article 90-Roman numeral 11 by adding, 6, by adding Division 90-18-3, 3 to 4 family overlay district. Dan, you want to introduce it?
Yes, as part of the Planning Commission's work task list, and also in conjunction with the master plan that was developed a few years ago now, there were areas of the zoning code that were, I shouldn't say restrictive, but didn't give a lot of flexibility for the addition of new dwelling units in the city. Planning Commission moved forward with the accessory dwelling use ordinance, which added the capability or the possibility for people to add additional living space on their parcels. The Planning Commission also adopted the two-family or the duplex in all areas of the R2 zoning district, which before the amendment to that ordinance, duplexes were only allowed on state highways, which was very restrictive, of course, having just North Broadway and Hanover being our state highways, and then also the corridor out west of town. So actually, the applicant tonight took use of that and constructed a duplex on Clinton Street, which added greatly to that area, because before that it was not a very sightly parcel. So the Housing Committee took up the task of how do we maybe create a little bit more density in our city, understanding that over the years, single-family residences had been converted to sometimes 3 and 4 family residences. The Victorian homes that we see throughout town, they were converted. I don't know, under the cover of darkness is probably a bold overstatement, but they were converted to 3 and 4 family units that really was not in conformance with the ordinance. So the Housing Committee kind of looked at that and said, okay, We have some 3 and 4 family units in town that were once single family. We have to acknowledge that those are there. How do we bring those so that they're illegal non-conforming, or in some cases illegal non-conforming, to conforming situations? So the Housing Committee worked on different text over a course of several months and came up with the 3 to 4 family overlay district, which is what's in front of you tonight. So Rebecca, I'll turn it over to you to do a little bit more in the detail or in the weeds explanation of this overlay district and how staff will be able to utilize it.
Well, I know I've presented it twice to you, so I don't know that you need me to go through it in detail. You might have questions. I do know that the Housing Committee, I might have shared, their vision of this was to create the text and get it established in the zoning ordinance. And they did not go through and place it on property. The idea was that it would be available in the zoning ordinance that could then be either requested by property owners to be placed or placed by the Planning Commission in areas where they thought it's appropriate. But at this point in time, it is just the amendment to the zoning ordinance that's being proposed rather than then executing it on sites. But the idea is overlay, but you know, the underlying district stays. So the idea is to be able to sort of drop it into targeted places to allow for some conversion to 3 and 4 families where density does not exceed a certain amount for the block as a whole.
As you'll note from Rebecca's memo, this was presented back in January, and unfortunately, because of other issues, we never moved that forward as expeditiously as we initially intended, but we wanted to get it back in front of you, and at this point, if you want to ask any questions of Rebecca before I open up the public hearing, please feel free to fire away.
I have one question.
Yes.
On the building form standards, the last little section, this is on page 5, minimum front porch area, if provided, 70 square foot, enclosed porches are allowed. Does that mean only enclosed porches are allowed, or both open and enclosed? Do you see what I'm...
Oh, both.
Okay.
Both. Some ordinances distinguish, and enclosed porches are considered part of the home, and so then they don't.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions at this point? If not, I'm going to open the public hearing and invite anyone who chooses to share input with us to please step to the podium and introduce yourself. Going once, going twice, and we'll close the public hearing. So, are there other questions, or are we prepared to go ahead and move this forward to City Council?
No other questions, I don't think, but do we need a motion to?
Yes.
I'll make the motion to...
Forward this to City Council for, with our recommendation for approval.
Yes, thank you. Now, normally I'm quick to...
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not, but yes, thank you. That's exactly the motion.
Support. Moved and supported. Further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. All right, thank you very much. We'll move on to new business. Review and consider site plan approval for Kevin Anderson at 148 East State Street. Dan?
I'll bring it up on the screen in just a minute. So, Mr. Anderson, who's in attendance tonight, is a local property owner. He, as referenced earlier, he was the first person to take advantage of the new duplex amendment that Planning Commission City Council subsequently approved. He constructed a new duplex on Clinton Street on the former site of something that was not nearly as attractive as the building that he ended up constructing there. Mr. Anderson also owns the two buildings at 144 and 148, correct addresses, I believe. East State, just right over here on the south side of State Street, just west of Michigan Avenue. Mr. Anderson took advantage of the DDA's facade grant program, and if you've viewed those two buildings, he and the contractor did wonderful work on those two buildings. So in the rear of the 148, correct, building, it's currently just a one-story kind of, it needs some TLC. Mr. Anderson's plan is to add a second story to that building in the back there. The front of the building already has a residential living unit. The infill that he's planning on putting behind the 148 building will also be used for residential housing. As staff, excited to see some infill in the downtown area. We'll bring up the photos of what it looks like now, and of course the renderings of what the construction will look like afterwards. Rebecca has completed the staff report for the property, and I'll also bring that up. I believe Sandy sent the staff report to all of you today. I'll also bring it up on the screen tonight too. So with that, I can turn it over to Rebecca.
Yep. Rebecca?
Sure. Well, so this is within the B1 district, and the B1 district does allow for dwelling units within a building of 2 stories or greater. So the proposal to add an additional residential unit on the 2nd story is a permitted use, which means that they're before you for site plan review, but no special permit is required. Essentially, all of the standards of the B1 district are going to apply. And so the report is structured accordingly. As to those that apply specifically to dwelling units, I've indicated that compliance is found. I have bolded that an off-street parking proposal has not been indicated, but to clarify, the applicant has a number of parking options, and I am assuming that they are taking advantage of the fact that there is a public city parking lot adjacent to the south. And the ordinance does allow for parking in a municipal lot if it's within 300 feet, which this is. And so I'm assuming that's the proposal. It just wasn't clearly stated. But assuming that is the proposal, it does require city approval of that. But by adding one dwelling unit, they would be required to provide one parking space for it. And so I guess your recommendation would need to speak to whether or not you think use of that municipal parking lot to provide that required one space is acceptable. So I do think you need to make a finding on that. The second bullet item is just that you do have a requirement that obviously their building addition will have to comply with applicable building and fire codes. The only other thing I wanted to raise that's in bold, it kind of covers both pages 3 and 4, is that you have, because it's in the B1 district, you have downtown design standards. However, you adopted those essentially through a guidebook, and you refer to them as your downtown design guidelines for commercial buildings in the downtown overlay zone. So they are guidelines. But whenever you're working with your buildings downtown, you use these guidelines. Now, most of those guidelines are focused on the front facades, but you do have a handful of standards that apply to the rear facades. But they are all guidelines, and you'll notice that some of those, I think the elevations that they provided you demonstrate compliance. There are a couple of them that are responded in bold that I think you should have a conversation about to make a finding on. Just in terms of whether or not it's in character with the area, whether the height of the building being a little taller than the other ones, if that's acceptable to you, that kind of thing. You know, the plans don't indicate what the building materials will be, and you have, that's what some of your guidelines speak to. So I think you'll want to make a finding on that. But other than those design guidelines, I think your only two issues are compliance with code and parking.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Rebecca or Dan at this point?
So how much taller is this building going to be than the adjacent building?
Well, the plans say it's 32 feet. The district allows 40, so it's certainly not in excess of the district. But it did not give the height on what the adjacent buildings were, only that this was taller.
Okay. It looks like maybe a few feet, but
Doesn't seem like it's gonna be a whole.
yeah, I'm not concerned. I don't think it's gonna look crazy, so whatever it is acceptable.
Okay,
In my opinion.
why don't we invite our applicant to come up? Kevin, anything you want to add to your application to address the things that Rebecca just talked about?
As far as the building materials and the actual facades themselves, my plan is to improve where those doors are up there, that rear facade, and then that's 148, and then over 144, my plan is to redo all of that facade as well, and then construct brand new decking across both buildings with the stairways going up the side. I think that's shown on the plan. I thought I could take advantage of the facade grants on the rear, and that would kind of come into play. We talk about what that was going to be at that time, right? I'm flexible with how it's finished. I don't do anything that's not consistent with typical building practices. I'm not sure if I want masonry or not. I know there's been some metal used in the city recently. If a metal siding on that building would be acceptable, I could go that route. Or
If you're using, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're using facade grants, there's fairly specific building material requirements connected with the facade grants, are there not?
That's correct.
They talk more about commercial than, don't they, than residential. That's kind of all because we let Razor's Edge do 10 over there, right? Metal.
Commercial grade. So that would be something I will review on.
right, that's what I was planning on anyway.
So you haven't decided what the material's gonna be yet?
Excuse me?
You haven't decided what the material is going to be at this point?
No.
Okay. What about a parking space?
There is one parking space behind the building at this time.
Okay.
If that can satisfy the requirement, that'd be great. That's the only, there's actually 2 spots behind 144 and one behind 148.
Oh, okay.
But 144 is a different business there. They use that parking right now.
Okay.
Ayers Matrix.
He is eligible, though, to consider the parking lot.
Yes,
Yeah,
actually,
so,
yes.
Right.
I don't think I have any other questions.
Any other questions for Kevin? Thank you, sir. We appreciate your interest in doing something downtown.
No problem.
All right, anyone else that care to comment during the public hearing? If not, then I'll close the public hearing. What's your pleasure?
That was on public hearing.
Did I get off? Oh, never mind. Yeah, you're right, it wasn't. It was just a review of the site plan approval.
Okay.
Strike that from the minutes, please.
No. Okay,
No.
I'll make the motion to approve the site plan for Kevin Anderson with
Noting that the
staff guidance. as far
staff
as-
guidance on the open issue of building materials
Yes,
conforming to the facade grant requirements, and noting that we find the roof elevation to be acceptable.
along with the parking space.
Yes.
I got a question. Why do we include the facade grant materials? Why do we include that in the motion if we're gonna approve his site plan? We're not gonna, until he goes to PCI and gets a building permit, we don't know what he's gonna build there anyhow, really.
I didn't understand.
Well,
You see where I'm coming from?
yeah, I guess the idea behind that was it's a way for us not to require him to be able to specify tonight what his
Okay.
siding is going to be.
I
So
just couldn't see why we were. gonna
only
decide,
because it
yeah.
does put some limits on what can be done back there, and, yeah, in as much as as long as it's consistent with the facade grant requirements, then we know it's consistent with other projects that are being done downtown.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Other comments, questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same.
Is there support on that motion?
No.
Support. Okay, thanks.
And I know you acknowledged, so I'm just asking a question here.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So the motion was to grant, to recommend approval of the site plan, noting that the adjacent city lot provides the required parking, that it will be subject to compliance with the applicable building and fire codes,
Correct.
and based on the findings per the design guidelines for the commercial buildings, you found it to be acceptable, noting that the building materials comment working with staff on the
Correct.
side. Okay, okay. I just want to make sure those first two are included.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm not on my A game tonight with that motion.
Do we actually have to reference? I thought the fire code and things was automatic. It didn't need to be a part of our motion.
We usually have them listed as contingencies and just reference
Okay.
the
Doesn't matter,
contingencies
yeah.
noted, and then it ends up in the minutes.
Okay.
Well, yes, to Sarah's point, because it is specifically listed in your ordinance. It isn't usually. But for you to go through and say, well, it meets our B1 district standards, that was one of the standards.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
then you just yeah, okay.
Any question on what we just approved? Okay. Work it out, Dan. And Kevin, thank you very much. Good luck with the project. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right, new business item B, consider scheduling a public hearing for November 3rd to review and consider site plan and special use permit for St. Rose Church at 805 South Jefferson Street.
I'll make the motion to schedule a public hearing for the November 3rd meeting to review and consider site plan and special use permit for St. Rose Church at 805 South Jefferson Street.
Support.
Discussion?
What is this special use permit for?
Dan?
Good question.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm curious too.
Yeah, so in the zoning district that the church is located, churches are classified as a special use. So knowing the history of St. Rose, it's been here obviously for a long time. This would likely be an amendment to the approved special use permit that was either there or not there from the church being there so long. So what their plan is, they're going to be adding some additional administrative space on the rectory parcel, so it would be on the east side, along with some additional parking to accommodate the school, both in front of the building on Jefferson Street, and then the street behind it. So I don't recall exactly the square footage of the additional building, a few thousand square feet, 3,000 or 4,000 square feet, I believe, for administrative spaces. They're feverishly working on their site plan right now. They did request that we get it on the agenda to have the public hearing set for the November meeting, because they would really like to start the construction phase before the weather turns sour on them. So.
Okay, well, they certainly have plenty of property there, so it shouldn't be
Yes, they do.
much of an issue.
The topography is a little bit challenging for them with maintaining stormwater management on site, but they have an engineering company that's assisting with that. So, and I believe they've already been in contact with Rob Neal and Byrne in our DPS department.
Okay. Other questions? Then all in favor of setting the public hearing for the November 3rd meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. All right, item C, administrative site plan approval for Meadowstone. Dan?
Yeah, just in brief, this administrative site plan approval was really in conjunction with our fire chief, Chief Jordan's review of the Meadowstone project, where the fire hydrant was going to be located on one of the buildings. It truly was not accessible by the fire department. It was basically being covered by 2 parking spaces. Then it was orientated in a fashion that would not be accessible to the fire department. So Chief Jordan worked with the general contractor on the project to come up with a solution that would be amicable for the fire department's access to that. So the administrative approval that I granted basically requires that 2 of the parking spaces that were dedicated to the project are now will be covered by either permanent or flexible bollards, and the orientation of the hydrant nozzles will be orientated in the proper orientation to gain fire department access in the event of some type of fire there. So.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Dan? All right, we'll move on to old business. JPA, JPC update?
Oh, do we have to make a,
No, that was administrative approval.
okay.
It was just
Sorry.
information item for us.
Okay.
Come on, Jackie, work with me. I'm
I know, sorry.
trying to get you out of here.
Sorry. I don't know that we have updates, do we?
No.
Oh, JPC?
Well,
does?
JPC does. JPC did meet now that the Meyer project is potentially moving forward. That really falls to the JPC for approvals. So in preparation for that, there were a number of code amendments that needed to be made that would not only apply to Meyer, but to any bigger box type of development there. Had to do with landscaping requirements in the parking lot, some lighting issues, but those were approved by the JPC and will be coming to the Township Board and City Council for their approval, but nothing that's nothing that I would consider to be controversial. Their ordinance was really designed for very small commercial development. Just as an example, if we applied the landscaping requirements to a parking lot the size of Walmart or Meijer, they'd be planting a forest. Not really necessary. Why are you looking at me that way, Rebecca?
Oh, because every time I try to go to Meijer, I'm looking to park in the shade, and I'm not that Meijer. And none of these stores have any shaded parking. They're just massive asphalt fields. And just as from a consumer standpoint, it's, you know, it's annoying. So I was just wondering if, I know you were exaggerating by saying no forest, but are they going to have any?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
There is a requirement.
That was
for
my
some,
face look.
But what we're not required, I think if you had applied the old ordinance, they would have been planting, what was it, 150 to 200 trees.
I would guess it's well warranted.
Yeah. And I would say that based on first of all, it's very nice having experienced professionals on the other side of the table. The folks from Myers have done this on numerous occasions in numerous locations, and I don't think we could identify an issue that they haven't had to resolve in some fashion. So they, I think, have done an excellent job of trying to put together a site plan that conforms to the JPC requirements and is sensitive to the issues that have been raised by some of the neighbors out there. So while it is not finalized and has not been submitted for approval, I think a preliminary look at it certainly looked favorable to me. So, all right, and JPE, I don't think
they met last month.
only to talk about the M37 corridor committee. Wasn't that?
I think that was the previous month.
Was that the previous month? Okay. Not much going on.
It really
with
made an impression on you.
It did, right, yes. And you too, obviously. Yeah. All right, item B, work task list, Dan?
Yes, as we've talked about today, number one on the list is part of the subdivision introduction we had for the workshop today. And item number 9 is part and parcel of what you've approved today to pass along to City Council and ordinance reform. So we're moving forward with the work task list. And our job's not done because there's still more to move forward. Continue doing.
Okay. Tracking report.
Tracking report. We've added the BMG Motor Group to the tracking list, something that was approved at the September meeting. So.
Okay. Any questions for Dan on either of those items?
So where are they at with that out there? Car lot.
Yeah, they're still working on their engineered plans.
But I thought the way they talked, they were getting right on that. Disappointing.
The Zach Zantmeyer project's done, I think, if you wanted to remove.
Yeah, we'll be able to move that. He just, the Trumbull Agency building, he also received a mediated facade grant, just submitted his final materials, so I believe he's gained full occupancy to that, so that'll be checked off the list next month.
Okay. And item D was the land division ordinance versus site condominium regulations, which
we've already covered.
we've covered. So, all right. Open public discussion and comment. We lost our public.
The only comment that I have,
You're next. You're under staff comments.
okay, I'll wait right here until you're ready for me.
Go right ahead.
Okay. Again, I lose track of meetings and groups that we've discussed this with. Raise your hand if you're aware that MDOT is going to be doing a reconstruction of State Street from Broadway to Cook Road. Okay, so we have some that are aware of it. So we've, I know City Council's been informed, our DDA has been informed. So MDOT will be reconstructing State Street from Broadway to Cook Road in, I believe, 2028. But their plans are basically to take up what's there, crush it, move it off-site, and put back exactly what's there now. Not optimal for the city of Hastings. It's, as I've mentioned before, it's an Autobahn, it's a racetrack from the city limits to really our gateway entry on Broadway entering the downtown area. So City Council has approved entering into an agreement with a company that works with MDOT and is actually working with them possibly on the project itself to do some type of street, they call it road diet, they call, you think of it as pedestrian boulevards or trees or something, doing something different with that roadway from Cook Road to the downtown Hastings area. If we do not do anything as a city, and MDOT moves forward, what we have now will be there in much better shape, but for another 50 years. This is our opportunity as a city to have something different that looks more inviting, that looks more like once you enter, once you pass Cook Road, you're actually coming into a city. You're not having to wait to Broadway to say, well, here's the city of Hastings. So there's so many pluses to the city developing in conjunction with the engineering company that will be enlisted to help in, number one, creating a more safer both pedestrian and vehicular area out there. But number two, from an economic development standpoint, there's a lot of businesses out there, and as cars cruise by at 45, 50, 60 miles an hour, what's their vision on going past these businesses? We have luxury downtown that most cars are going hopefully 10 to 15 miles an hour. That's kind of a joke because we know sometimes they go faster. But, the slower the traffic goes by, the more they can see these businesses and utilize their services. So hopefully, reducing the space, the visible space, and having that feeling that, I shouldn't be driving 60 miles an hour in this space. I should be driving something much slower than that. Will give opportunities for, both the drivers and their passengers to view, the other businesses that are out there. So don't be surprised if one or all of you are called on for some type of public engagement, because there will be considerable public engagement concerning options and opportunities for the city to, develop something that's really attractive, safe, and economically viable. So that's my soapbox.
Thank you, Dan. I'm certainly appreciative of the fact that the council has decided to take that action. Please keep us advised, because I am almost certain that we concur with your concerns over what we have out there right now. So keep us informed, please. Any other comments from commissioners? If not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Support?
Moved and supported. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. We are adjourned.
Hopefully your husband's got it on the table. I hope he does too. Should treat you nicely.
Oh, I didn't know you said you should.
You do have to go.